Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. Let the record show that all board members are present tonight and the meeting was properly advertised. We also had a short working session prior. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing we'd like to do is offer opportunity for public comment. We'll offer again at the end. I think our general manager has something he wants to bring up.
Yeah, I have something brief here. Lebanon Utilities received the 2023 Heart Award from the Heart of Lebanon. I have a plaque here that I can pass around for you guys to see. Thank you, Heart of Lebanon. We have assisted the Heart of Lebanon with hanging the pinwheels located on the square, removing the temporary mural that was on what is now the Echo Room, as well as hanging Christmas decorations. Our crews are just a great example of neighbors serving neighbors. We want to thank the Heart of Lebanon for this award, and we just love supporting them and love this community. And if you want to see the award, I'll just pass it around for okay afterwards. So that's all I had. Thanks.
Thanks, Ed. Missy Krulik and the board at the Heart of Lebanon do a great job, so we're happy to help and honored to receive that from them, so thank you. Any other public comment? All right, first item is the approval of our minutes from the October 4th meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those, and if so, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for October the 4th, 2023.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the minutes from the October 4th, 2023 meeting. Any additional questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next action item, our electric operations manager, Jeff Greeno, will address the board about a pickup truck purchase. Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon. Yes, this is a request for approval to buy a 2023 Ford F-250 XL pickup truck. This truck will be used for our day-to-day operations and to pull our smaller trailers to job sites. This truck is going to replace the Ford Escape, which the engine blew up in it a couple years ago. I have replacement of this vehicle budgeted in the 2024, but with the scarcity of trucks and the way the economy is going, I wanted to seek approval to buy this truck this year. So I would just like to ask the board to approve the purchase of the 2023 Ford F-250 for the purchase municipal price of $50,126 and have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents. Have any questions or?
Right, thank you, Jeff. As Jeff mentioned, this is a budgeted item for next year. I know the budgeted amount was higher, I believe $80,000 than this $50,000 price, but it would be purchased this year given the limited inventory of vehicles in general. Any questions for Jeff on this purchase?
In the working session, we discussed how it was difficult to get quotes because of there weren't many trucks available on the lot, and that it's not evidently possible anymore to order them to be built to your specifications and to get a quote that way. So I'm satisfied that we've followed a good process for our needs.
Right, anything else for Jeff? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve purchase of the 2023 Ford F-250 at municipal price of $50,126 and have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve the purchase of the 2023 Ford F-250 at the municipal price of $50,126 with the general manager signing all documents. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Jeff. Looks like you're staying put for a second for the southeast annexation loop feed design.
Yes, this is the request for the next step of the Southeast Annexation Loop Feed project. I'm asking the board to approve Alpha Engineering to do the line design for this project. This is a budgeted item under line 1 of the 2023 capital additions page. So I would just like to ask the board to approve Alpha Engineering to do the line design quotation for Southeast Annexation Loop Feed for the not-to-exceed amount of $24,500 and have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Questions, discussion for Jeff? You mentioned it's a budgeted item. Not entertain a motion to approve?
I move to approve the Alpha Engineering line design quote for the Southeast Annexation Loop Feed for the not-to-exceed amount of $24,500 and have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Bill to approve the Alpha Engineering line design quote for the Southeast Annexation Loop Feed for the not-to-exceed amount of $24,500, with our general manager signing all documents. Additional questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Jeff.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay, next action item is the Boone REMC fiber at Hazel Rig, and Seth Bird is here to address the board on this item. Hey, Seth.
Oh, good evening. Okay, the telecommunications department needs for bandwidth capacity are close to exceeding our existing microwave link to our tower in Hazel Rig. Moving that link to have a fiber optic would give us near unlimited capacity in that location. However, running the fiber optic lines ourselves would be too costly of an investment with a very long payback period. Boone REMC has fiber optic lines in existence that run by that tower. And discussions with them led to an opportunity to lease fiber lines from them to get us communication to that tower. Telecom requests the board approve an agreement with REMC to lease the fiber optic lines from them to reach the tower in Hazel Rig. Now, a little background, this is very similar to an agreement that we did with them a few months earlier in the year for the ad tower and Advance. Actually, the agreement should be pretty much word for word, other than the locations had been changed. That's been working out well for us since that went into implementation a few months back. The additional capacity for this fiber optic connection would allow us to offer higher bandwidth packages to our customers and help us stay competitive with new emerging rural internet providers in that Hazel Rig area. The terms of the agreement is it's a 36-month agreement for $1,500 a month with a one-time installation or setup fee of $6,000. So the Telecommunications Department requests the board approve the agreement with Boone REMC to lease the fiber optic lines to the Slifer Tower in Hazel Rig for a period of 36 months at a price of $1,500 per month and an installation charge of $6,000. This was in our 2023 budget, listed under the fiber lease line item. And we just request that that be approved with General Manager signing off on all documents.
Okay, thank you, Seth. Appreciate you also noting that we had another similar agreement earlier with Boone REMC that's worked out pretty well so far. So any questions for Seth or discussion on this?
Seth, how is our customer base holding up with the competition that you mentioned?
We're doing okay. We are in kind of an in-between period. There's, not to blame, last 3 years for a lot of stuff, but in regards to equipment, it's unfortunately is to blame. We're looking to need to have better equipment to provide faster speeds to retain customers that we are starting to lose to more competition from like federally funded large ISPs like Spectrums and Starlink and others. in those areas. And the equipment that should have been out a year and a half ago is just now hitting the market, with us planning to have in our budget for 2024 some items to actually overhaul our network. A key piece of that is having faster speeds to the site, because having faster equipment at the site doesn't benefit it if your bottleneck is the feed to it. But for the most part, we have had, our customer base is kind of, I guess, treading water as far as numbers go. We're keeping up with kind of what we lose. But to be honest, we have had this year in total number, probably the most amount of losses of customers than we've had in previous years, for a single year. But that is also weighed against our customer bases were much smaller back then, so the losses would be smaller. But proportionately, I think we've maybe lost about 1 to 2%, maybe of our customer base. I don't have those right in front of me. That's kind of my last, I think, calculation on there. And then with the LEAP project, kind of in that area, we do have a lot of customers that are in the footprint of the LEAP project that's over on the west side of 65. So depending on how that goes, we may lose some just from those homes no longer being there and warehouses being instead. Does that hopefully answer your
Hey, Seth.
question? Yeah.
Just, I know you like to be precise, but just general numbers, this is from my memory, but before COVID, you had about 1,000, and then you went up to about 1,300 or so, and now you're talking about 1 or 2%, you're talking you lost maybe 20 or 30, roughly, or? I
Maybe
don't
my
think
numbers
it's
are wrong.
five,
I'll put in numbers. We, of course, had a huge uptick in customers that was above normal upticks in 2020, 2021 time period, as a lot of people started to demand internet more than maybe they would have thought they needed it. This year, we've probably lost 100, 115, but that's not net loss, that's just loss. That doesn't include the installations that we've done, so our difference is below that. I just don't have that number off the top of my head.
Okay, no, good. So, I mean, we're maintaining our customer base, and it's a little up from before 2020, but down from 2020, where people were staying home and really needed internet a lot.
Yeah, but we do need to do some overhauls to stem that trend and keep it from being annually a trend. And those will be things we discuss in our 2024 budget.
Right, thank you, Seth. Any other questions for Seth? If not, entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agreement with Boone REMC to lease fiber optic lines to the Slifer Tower for a period of 36 months at the price of $1,500 per month with an installation charge of $6,000.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Bill to approve the agreement with Boone REMC to lease the fiber optic lines to the Slifer Tower for a period of 36 months, the price of $1,500 per month with an installation charge of $6,000. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Seth. I think you are still up with our replacement upgrade of the fiber bandwidth circuit.
Yes. So a little background, we currently have two fiber optic internet bandwidth feeds that come in. One's a primary and one's our backup. Being an ISP, we don't want to, be down because one of our feeds went offline, so we pay for two circuits. Currently, they are both with Zayo Bandwidth Group. One is a 10 gigabit circuit that we renewed, or I believe last year, or early this year, can't remember off the top of my head. And then we have another circuit that is set to expire in Q1 of 2024. I've been in discussions with Zayo. I also contacted a few other providers trying to get preliminary cost estimates. And the price I got from Zayo, with the ability to terminate our existing contract early without a penalty and move to a circuit that's going to be faster for a lower price, I'm wanting to possibly pull that trigger this year, because I don't see much of a downside. We're going to get more speed and we're going to save money. So what we do currently is we currently pay $35,910 annually, or $2,992.50 per month for this backup 2 gigabit per second internet circuit. The current 36 months agreement, I believe, expires in January of 2024. What we're looking to do is to move to a 10 gigabit per second circuit for a price of $2,075 a month, so a savings of over $900 per month. Our current price per megabit, if you took it that way, is $1.50 per megabit. That would drop us to 21 cents per megabit of bandwidth. And this would be a 36-month agreement with Zayo Bandwidth Group. So we're looking to, and if we don't convert this and we don't renew it with them, when the contract does expire, our rates will be subject to no protection from any monthly price increases. The rate may just even go up immediately. It depends on what their numbers do when your contract expires on that. So the request is that the board approve the replacement and upgrade of our existing backup internet bandwidth circuit for a period of 36 months with Zayo for a renewal price of $2,075 per month.
All right, thank you, Seth. So this is essentially 5 times the bandwidth for $900 or so
Or a third
less
less.
per month, is that right?
Correct, and that's usually a trend with these high bandwidth circuits that you're doing for bandwidth. Usually, over the years, either our price will stay the same, but our speed will go up, so net effect is we're paying less per megabit, or we can sometimes get both a lower cost per month and more bandwidth at the same time.
Okay.
What would be the start date for the new 36-month agreement?
The new 36-month agreement would be, I think it's in the packet, but I did forget to print that part out. There would be I think a 1-month period of overlap, so we would activate the new circuit. Once it's signed, it'd probably go into effect sometime in, my gut is November-ish timeframe, depends on how quick their implementation team would progress, but sometime probably in November, the circuit would go live. There'd be 1-month overlap with our existing agreement, and then that would terminate with no penalty, but we would have 1 month of, I guess, a double bill as we're between the one circuit and the other, the one agreement and the new agreement, is what I was told. And that should be spelled out at the bottom of the quote from Zayo that was included in the packet.
Everything going a month without internet, right? So.
Well,
Yeah, it's our backup one, but it would be, I don't want to go without a backup circuit for a month.
All right, anything else for Seth? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the replacement and upgrade of the existing internet bandwidth circuit for a period of 36 months with Zayo for the renewal and upgrade price of $2,075 a month.
Second.
We'll give it to Tim.
Okay.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Tim to approve the replacement and upgrade of the existing internet bandwidth circuit for a period of 36 months with Zayo for the renewal and upgrade price of $2,075 per month. Any additional questions for Seth? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks, Seth. Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Okay, next action item is the Chicago Street Water Treatment Plant building demo, and our general manager is going to address the board.
Yes, thank you. Ryan's out of town, and I was standing in for him, but this is a good request. Okay, this request is to approve the demolition and removal of 2 buildings at the Chicago Street Water Plant. Both structures are over 40 years old and have become a safety concern. Building 1 is a metal pole barn that used to store wire spools. It's empty now. Building 2 is the 2-story concrete block building that is the former water treatment plant lab and also where the water was softened. This building is also empty. Quotes also include removal of all debris. 4 contractors were contacted for a quote, and we received 3 quotes, with the lowest being H&D removal for a cost of $38,500. This is the budgeted amount in line 4, and there's also a picture in the file on Govinda if you want to see what the buildings look like. And so the request is that the board approve the quote for the $38,500. Questions?
All right, thank you, Ed. Questions for Ed? Any discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the quote for the demolition of the 2 buildings at Chicago Street Water Plant for H&D removal in the amount not to exceed $38,500.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve the quote for the demolition of 2 buildings at Chicago Street Water Plant from H&D Removal in an amount not to exceed $38,500. Additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving along to an information item. John Leitner's here from BF&S, and he's going to discuss the Business Park Lift Station BOT recommendation. How's it going, guys?
Good, I think Cameron's actually going to lead us off. So.
All right, Cam.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
After the Lebanon Business Park Regional Lift Station BOT project was properly advertised on August 29th and September 5th, we received proposals from 2 potential developers. A scoring committee comprised of Tim Hudson, Ann Patterson, Ed Baskell, Ryan Ottinger, and myself scored the proposals utilizing the grading criteria provided in the RFP advertisement. Based on the scores, the scoring committee recommends that the Lebanon Utility Service Board authorize negotiations to begin with Kokosing Industrial for a development services contract. John Leitner from BF&S is here to go over the next steps in the process that we can answer any questions the board might have. Yep, so really, as noted, it's an informational item today. Not asking really for any authorization, just kind of letting the board, making the board aware of what the scoring committee is recommending. Our next step would be to hold a public hearing as required by the Indiana Code. Upon that would basically say Kokosing is who the scoring committee is recommending. If anybody has any issues, please raise them now. After that, then we'll be able to bring a design development agreement to another board meeting. That will actually have authorization. Following that, we'll work with Kokosing, the developer, on a guaranteed maximum price and the final construction contract that becomes an attachment to that design development agreement. So our whole goal, and I think we're still on track, is to have the Lebanon Business Park Lift Station online before the end of 2024.
John, how many people provided bids?
So again, not a bid process, but a qualifications-based selection process, but we had 2 developers submit responses. So we got a response from Kokosing Industrial and from Bowen Engineering. I think, sitting in on the scoring committee meetings, I feel like the scoring committee felt both were very, very highly qualified. The scores were incredibly close, and there was a lot of good debate and discussion from everybody, really. So,
Last couple projects we've done, John, we've had 4 folks actually provide information. We only had 2 this time. Any insight as to why?
yeah, talking with previously we have had some additional responses. Talking with the 2 other firms that have typically provided responses, workload is really the culprit there. So both of them indicated they would like to do the project, but they had some other projects they were responding on and just simply didn't have time to fit it into their workload.
I'd like to note that we've had really good success with Kokosing and the way they deliver their products and the way they interact with our customers along the way. That I'm pleased that they are one of the bidders and that hopefully we'll be able to work with them.
Nope, I agree. And quick special thanks to the scoring committee. It's not the most glamorous job in the world or always the most exciting thing to read and score, but I know Ann and Cameron got to be their first time to look into the process, but I think it's good to keep getting everybody involved and seeing exactly, it's important on those qualifications-based selections to see why people are being, firms are being selected.
Thanks, John. I just want to say thanks for the way you put together the meeting and facilitated things. And we had 2 really good, strong proposals. Kokosing's really good. Boeing was really good as well. And I hope that Boeing, Kokosing, and others continue to bid on our projects in the future because there's going to be a lot of projects in Lebanon with everything happening. So we appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
John's earlier point, though, we're going to have to move fairly quickly from this point forward so that we can complete the design, get supplies and materials purchased, and get them on site pretty quickly to complete this by the end of next year when that capacity is really needed.
Correct. Probably, next meeting or two, we'll be back with more than likely a supplemental agreement for Butler, Fairman, Seifert, as far as we do have 2 properties we have to acquire. That's probably the longest lead item we have. We think we have willing participants in the property owners that should help the process, but as we all know, you can't ever 100% count on right-of-way acquisition. So, again, we'll be working with Kokosing. This will start kind of the collaborative process to keep things moving and hopefully accomplish the goal of getting everything in by 2024 and opening up some more capacity in the business park.
Right, thank you, guys. Thank you to the committee as well. Next item is our approval of our claims, payrolls, transfers dated October 18th. Everyone had a chance to review those items, and if so, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers dated October 18th, 2023 in the amount of $2,800,398.40 for claims and payroll and $8,789,849.10 for transfers.
Second?
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers dated October 18th, 2023. Any questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Other business from the board tonight, or for the board? Another opportunity for public comment, if there is any. Ed, anything come into your desk?
No, sir?
All right, looks like we're meeting on the 8th of November at 5 PM. And if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tim, second by Ann to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you.